Welcome to another episode of GlideChat. My name is Michael Lombardo, CEO of GlideFast Consulting. Sitting across the table from me is Josh Brostoff, AVP at GlideFast. Josh, what up, brother?
How's it going, Mike? Thanks for having me on today. Looking forward to talking with you a little bit more about customer service, some of the work that we've done, the experiences that we've had, and yeah, it's great to be here.
Absolutely. And for those who don't know Josh, which would be very far and few between, there's another Glide Chat we did where we kind of talked about your background, so check that out if you don't know Josh. But Josh, yeah, let's talk about customer service. I know that's something you're really passionate about. You've taken over customer service management implementations here at GlideFast, and it all comes back to customer service. I mean, that's something I've always been passionate about. Ever since my first job, I was always taught to put the customer first, right? Customer's always right. Go above and beyond, provide that great experience. And it's funny how that's transitioned now to more professional. And it's such an important part of every day. But yeah, tell me a little bit about where you're thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think definitely my experiences, right, and where I've been and really how I started my career, the experiences that I've had have really kind of, I've wanted to really go down this path of more focusing on customer service management, right? So with ServiceNow, obviously it started off, right? It was an ITSM tool.
Yeah.
Very focused on things like incident management, change management, requests, all those pieces, right? Yeah. And then CSM came out, and it was something that I really just gravitated towards because I think one of the things for me, as the years have gone on, is really my experience dealing with customer service at different organizations, right? And I think everyone's
as a customer, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Not only as a customer, right? Yeah. But in what we do day to day as well.
Yeah.
And as the technology has improved, right, there are things that are good with it, and there are things that are not so good with customer service. But I really think the thing for me is I wanted to be able to use a tool to help improve that experience, right? And I think that's where I saw that opportunity with CSM to take that and capitalize on it.
Yeah.
The biggest thing for me, right, is I think we've all had those experiences where you go in, you call into a customer service line, and you have to press 30 different buttons to get, like, how painful is that?
It's
right?
brutal.
I
mean, the robots, they don't work.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. They don't. I don't want to have to call and just say, representative, try everything. I used to have like every back door. There's actually a website, I forget what it is, where you can actually get the back doors to speak to somebody.
Yep.
And there's definitely some psychology around that of like, just give me somebody. I just want to solve my problem. I don't want to say I'm calling about, getting my cable fixed,
Exactly.
And I understand the routing, especially us doing what we do with ServiceNow and, CSM and the incident management. We understand routing, and we understand we want to get to the right person. But I can go on and on, it's
100%.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing for me is what I've really noticed is when you look at the businesses, in this country, in the world, that have great customer service, and you realize how far they've gone, right? And part of it is because they do such a good job with their customers, being able to not only give them that great experience, not only when they're buying the product, but after the fact as well, right? And I think the biggest thing for me in realizing that is I want to enable our customers to have that same experience. For example, right, you call in, you get routed to 20 different people, exactly like you were saying. And I think the biggest thing is you really just want to get your issue resolved.
Thank you.
And
you took the words out of my mouth.
That's all you want.
Oh, you
that's
jerk.
All you
You're
want.
a jerk.
No,
I was going to ask you before you go on, right? Because now before you steal any more words from me.
Yeah.
I was going to say, what do you think is more important to a customer? Getting the, hey, how you doing, Josh? How's everything going today, buddy? Yep. Or is it just, hey, here's your problem solved, right? Yep. We don't need this. Our customers don't need this overwhelming experience where, there was magic and flowers, and when we call our cable company to fix our internet, we just want it fixed.
Right.
We don't need this like extravagant experience. Like we just want the problem solved.
Right.
Just solve it quickly.
And I think part of the problem that I've seen, right, is I think a lot of people, if you know, whether you're an executive at a company leading customer support, their whole thing is how can we cut down on costs? Because I think a lot of companies view it as overhead, right?
Yeah.
They don't, and it's the same thing as ServiceNow has been viewed as, right? Where it's overhead, but in reality, it's actually revenue generating, right? If you provide a good customer experience, you provide good customer support,
it's loyalty.
It's revenue generating and it's loyalty, right? You want to do business with that same brand, and I think that's really where this all comes down to, because I think the thought behind this whole thing, right, is if you can route people to 20 different, you can have them push 20 different buttons. You know, they're saying, oh, well, you know, we're
going to get you to the right person.
We're going to help you, your issue get resolved faster. But the fact is, it actually makes the customer more upset.
Yeah, it's more
right.
upset.
And it's not going to do you any good. And I think that's really where building experiences, like some of the stuff that I love, and I try and, you know, rebuild, right? I try and build these experiences with ServiceNow is, if you go into Uber, right? If you go into Lyft or you go into Amazon and you have a problem, you say, hey, my product didn't get delivered. Just like that, they reimburse the whole thing.
Well,
right?
because it's actually saves them more money by just giving you the $10 back than having you talk to somebody and they got to figure out what happened. Yeah. And the volume of that would be too much.
And I think we need to have a fundamental shift of the train of thought being, okay, we're going to try and route you all over the place. We're going to only hire no service agents, right? To let's just simplify this whole thing. Let's identify what the issue is and let's get the issue resolved.
Listen,
that's it.
And the other thing is, like, why can't we enable people to do more? This was a frustration I had back when I was in healthcare too, like where they wouldn't, you know, we had to escalate things to tier 2. They wouldn't give us access or something. Right. Like, just give us access. Why do I have to put my user on hold, take down their information, tell them we'll call them back. Just let me reset their password. Why are we going to tier 2 or whatever? Right. Give us access, give us enablement, give us training. And some of that's around politics at organizations where they don't want to give it up. But, like, you know, for example, I'm a loyal member to a hotel chain, right? I won't say who. And I'm an elite member or whatever. And I have a different phone number. And I never knew I have like 3 different phone numbers. I never know which one. I always call the wrong one. Yep. And they say, like, oh, sorry, I can't help you. Let me transfer you. Right? The worst thing in the world is transfers. And then I have to go and wait on hold again. It's like, why is that person not qualified to take my hotel reservation? Or like, why? I understand the white glove service and that's a premium. That's great. But if I have someone on the phone, that person should be able to solve my problem. So that's where things like knowledge base, right? And some of the checklists that come in CSM is so crucial, right? If we can enable more of our staff to handle more issues, then the hold times are going to go down, right? So that's always been a frustration. I mean, that's one of them.
And I definitely think, you know, some of the stuff that I've seen that we've just had huge success in some of the projects I've done, right, is I think when we think about things like virtual agent chatbots, right, as it relates to CSM, and I definitely think there's good things that experience that has provided, right? And there's also things that have also taken away from the customer experience, right? But I think some of it is finding that in between for, okay, if someone asks a question a couple of times, right, when does it make sense to transfer them to a live agent and building that experience through ServiceNow of, hey, let's build these type of topics through virtual agent where someone can type something in and it resolves it automatically for them, right? Yeah. How can we start to automate those experiences?
There's the automation.
Like you've talked about where, hey, I have a problem, right? I need to change my password. Yeah. How can I go in and just do it myself without having to pick up the phone and, you know, press 30 different buttons, right?
And instead of trying to solve every problem, because we're never going to be able to do that, let's focus on making the ones that automation can solve, like virtual agent. Let's just make that really good. Exactly. And like, let's just focus. Let's not try to have press 1 for this, you know, try to get every issue. It just, you know, and then give them the out. Like if they're a customer who doesn't want to talk to a robot, a virtual agent, give them the out. That's why I love ServiceNow out of the box. It's just like, representative.
Right.
And I know a lot of people cut that out sometimes, but give them. I always say, give them the out.
Right.
You give them a human. If they want a human, give them a human.
And I think the other thing too is, I mean, how many times have you got on a call with someone who's, and I think this is kind of known about the industry, is there's a lot of turnover in call centers, right? It's hard to train people. Yeah. But how many times have you got on a call with a customer service agent? They haven't, they don't know what you're talking about or the type of issue that you're having. And they kind of don't know what needs to be done. I think one of the best things I've seen is one of the relatively new features around customer service playbooks, where you can actually identify the type of issue that someone's having, and it guides the agent saying, here's what you need to do, right?
Yep.
Here's what you need. You need to go to here, right? And then you need to send them a password reset link, and then confirm everything's all set. And once that's complete, right? But guiding those people through how to be able to do these things, that's a better example of, hey, let's provide the best possible customer experience we can. Let's empower these agents. We need to enable them, right? Not only do we need to enable people to be able to actually automate and self-resolve their issues so they don't have to press 30 buttons, but let's actually improve our agents' experience too, so they're empowered to actually deliver better customer service, right?
Yeah.
I think that those are really the two big things when you think about providing that good experience of, hey, how can we build a better brand for ourselves? How can we make sure that our customers want to come back and do business with us again?
Yep. First, drink some champagne. Yep. Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm drinking it all by myself here. All right. So I was just thinking about, as you're talking, right? And we think about ServiceNow. Why is it, again, back to this, like, psychology of it, I don't want to, like, when I'm having a, like, issue with my phone provider or my cable provider or whatever, my first instinct isn't to go to their portal.
Yep.
Right?
Exactly. I agree.
Like, I'm like, I got to call them.
Yep.
And I'm trying to think, is that going to get easier? Is that because their portal's just not there? Their website, their portal, their service there is not up to par yet? I mean, like, I'm starting to see more ServiceNow customers, some of the bigger ones too, like start putting virtual agent like in front of their customer on the website.
Yep.
Why is it not fully there yet though?
It's interesting.
It just takes time?
Right.
Gateway drug?
I think a lot of businesses, when you think about, what are you doing? What's on your priority list, right?
Yeah.
A lot of them are just looking at everything as, hey, we need to, make our product the best that it can be. We need to build our brand up. We need to invest in research and development, right? But it's kind of the last thing that a lot of businesses tend to look at.
I think so.
And I think that's where your priorities are. But I think, I was alluding to this earlier. I think there needs to be that fundamental shift of putting customer service at the forefront.
Yeah.
Because that's really how if you get a customer, right? And let's think about how much it costs to, get a new customer, right? Let's say it costs $300, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever it may be. And then they go through their first experience with your business. They have a terrible, journey with customer support. They're gone, right? And you've lost that money and you're never going to get them back. So really having that first experience be the good one, whether it's purchasing the product or after the fact where they need something, the whole life cycle of that customer journey is really comes into play.
Yeah.
So
I read a book a while back about customer service, because it's something I'm really passionate about. Like, build GlideFast on it, right? Like, I going above and beyond, and like that white glove premium support. Like, customers always write stuff. And in that book, I remember reading, and really stuck out to me, is when you have people like tweet. Twitter's a great example, right? When people tweet about a company, the customer service, is it ever good or bad? Majority. Always bad.
Always bad.
And you know why that is? Again, back to psychology. People want you to feel bad for them. Like, dude, I called this grocery chain, I don't know, whatever. Call this movie rental place. Call Blockbuster.
Yep.
And it was
exactly
because we went to a movie rental place.
We did.
Remember that? It was like one of the last ones in the world.
I don't even know if there's any
the
left
middle
at
of
this
Illinois.
point. Yeah,
like that was a scary town.
It
was
really
not.
was.
It wasn't like Chicago.
Decatur,
Illinois.
3 hours outside.
That was weird.
Yeah,
but so call Blockbuster. Terrible experience. A guy hung up on me. You'll see a tweet about that, but you're never gonna see like call Blockbuster and wow. Right. The woman on the phone was just so nice and she solved my problem, because people want you to like feel bad for them, like, you know, subconsciously, like, man, I'm sorry you had that experience. That sucks. Me too. They suck. Screw them. Right. You want to break misery loves company, right?
Yep.
But isn't that funny? Like, you never see positive like feedback, really, rarely, of like, wow, had this great experience, you know, with my cell phone provider. They did this for me.
Yep.
So that's why, and the author was like kind of coming back to like, people just want their problem solved, you know?
Agreed. And I think people want to be heard, right?
Yeah.
You know, if you have a problem and you call in, you feel like, you know, no one really hears you, right? You're talking to one person, but if suddenly with this whole piece of like social media, right? You have Twitter, you have Instagram, Facebook. When you put it out
on
there,
blast,
millions of people are going to see this, right? It's no longer a secret. If you have a problem, other people are going to see that and be like, wow, you know, maybe I don't want to do business with that company.
You notice how the brands now, they respond mostly?
They do. And
they respond.
I actually think that's one of the best things, though, that's happened, right? Because not only does it enable a consumer to be heard, right? And allow other people to see, hey, this is what's really going on about how they're treating customers, right? But it also gives the business an opportunity to respond and say, hey, you know, how can I improve your experience?
We're sorry to most of the time we're sorry to hear about that.
Yep.
Shoot us a DM. We'll give you, and they end up giving them a coupon or something.
And one of the actually,
it's a workflow, by the way.
Exactly.
It's a workflow.
This is what I was about to go into. Is one of the things that I love that I've done with ServiceNow is I actually built a feature for a customer where when they mentioned the company through Twitter, right?
Yep.
It would actually auto-generate a case.
Yeah.
And what you could do with that is then you could respond to the customer directly through ServiceNow and have them reply. You could actually track that from start to finish, right? Because when you have things, when you think about Twitter, right? Millions of people may be tweeting at your company depending on who you are, and you can't keep track of it.
Well, most of them are bots now. Most of them
they could be
determined.
Elon
put them on blast.
Yeah.
But it's actually a workflow. I don't know if I did this with ServiceNow. I don't know what it was, but I was talking to somebody. I saw a presentation, and it's actually a workflow. So it you know, manual, automated, whatever. But like, let's say somebody tweets at, you know, McDonald's or something. McDonald's, we'd love to work with you, by the way. We're not. Someone tweets at McDonald's. Big fan of McDonald's. It's a workflow, right? So it's like, okay, a tweet happened at McDonald's, right? All right. Is it vulgar, or is it like, you know, is it facetious tweet, or is it like a legit tweet?
Right.
And then if it's that way, ignore it. You know, if it's this way, okay, was it a complaint or a compliment? All right. If it's a compliment, this, you know, go this route. If it's a complaint, let's go this route, right? So if you think about it, that's a great use case for ServiceNow,
100%,
and especially with some of the automation.
Oh yeah,
that's possible there, you know.
Yep.
So what's next for CSM? What's next for CSM and ServiceNow? Because it was a new product maybe 6 years ago.
Yep.
Is that pretty good?
Yeah, I think about 6 years.
I think it was seven, maybe 7.
I want to say, like
GlideFast.
2016 is when I really started hearing about it. Started, you know, customers.
I remember you were like, I want this. I'm going to take this over. You said it then. You said it. Because it's just such a big market opportunity. I think that's why everybody was excited about it. Yep. Is because it's such a big market opportunity that ServiceNow just wasn't playing in yet necessarily. And it's textbook ServiceNow use cases, right? We field calls and we solve the cases.
Yep.
But what's next for that?
Yeah, and I think right now, right, when you look at kind of the customer experience, I feel like they're just, you know, grazing the very tip of what that whole customer experience and customer journey is, right? It is like. So I mean, really what you have in ServiceNow, you have a fairly robust customer support system where you have things like case management, right? You have live chat, you have, you know, playbooks. But when you think about everything from start to finish, of all the way from actually purchasing the product, right, getting that whole piece of it. And then also after the fact as well, right, really building up like a customer profile.
Yeah.
Starting to really start to track things like products and, entitlements, right? We already have a lot of that in CSM, but I think continuing to expand on really the whole customer journey. Right now it's very focused on support, but I feel like it's going to continue to branch out into other things as well, right? We've already seen things like field service management, which is, in my opinion, still at the very early stages has a great product, right? Think
100%.
about how many other, massive companies are doing field service management. ServiceNow has captured a very small piece of that, right? But if you pull that in, I mean, can you imagine if you're not only doing FSM, but also all the other things that you could start to integrate that with, right? Yep. So I feel like that's a big piece. I think telecom, as it relates to CSM, is going to be a massive offering as well. So I'm excited to see, particularly around FSM and telecom and how that integrates in, and really the bigger picture of the customer journey. So
100%. And I'd love to see some integration more into the marketing space and sales space of like, okay, this customer somehow correlate sales
right
to the customer support experience.
And I think when you think about CRM, right, that is something that ServiceNow has really not got into yet. Right?
When is that going to happen?
I think it has to happen.
It has to happen. Like eventually they're just going to take up so much of the other markets.
They go hand in hand, right? I mean, customer support and then also
you know why they don't do it.
Right.
Should we say it? Can we say that?
I think we can say it.
Let's say it.
Small Salesforce? Is that
Salesforce,
small company. Yeah.
Well, it's because if Wall Street views them as a CRM,
right,
then they're like, oh, dude, Salesforce is the CRM. Right. So that's why ServiceNow is like, we're not a CRM.
But they've got everything. It's the perfect entry, right?
It's the last.
It's the last big. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, more, but
there's
it's
more.
The last big,
but it's
big
the
one.
like, as far as like records,
right?
And like as far as like the record game,
right? And I mean, but can you imagine though, like everything coming together? Like look.
I mean, we do it.
Yeah,
we built our own,
and it integrates perfectly all the way from the start.
CRM Pro, baby, you can get it in the ServiceNow App Store, and I guess like for Wall Street, they just be like, we're not a CRM. Don't think of us as a CRM. We're not but I think Salesforce is the biggest competitor. We know it's not Remedy. We know it's not Ivanti.
In my opinion, though, I mean, the stars are aligned, right? You've got everything. You're sitting on a lottery ticket and you're just waiting.
I mean, Salesforce has tried to play in everything ServiceNow dominates in.
Right.
And I don't think they're doing a good job.
No, I think, I mean, ServiceNow literally has every big part of the enterprise except this last big piece.
Doesn't Salesforce coding, like we have Glide Record, don't they have Apex?
Right, yeah.
That's not very ironic. Dude, I'm seeing Apex everywhere now.
Yeah.
Dude, I see the word Apex everywhere.
It's funny.
I was on a lake the other day, the boat, we were on Apex.
Yep. It is popping up. No,
I see it everywhere. It's weird. All right, Josh. I think that's a good little podcast there. I can keep going. You want to keep going? Let's go. No. All right, everybody. My name is Michael Lombardo. I'm with Josh Brostoff. We're drinking a little Ace of Spades for our buddy, little Jimmy. Josh, thanks for joining me today. Cheers.
Great to be on. Thanks.
Cheers.